We come to you with prayerful hearts, full of conviction.
We have exposed ourselves to a movie unlike any other movie I've ever seen. The Princess Cut. Because that's the title of the movie.
It is.
So, I don't really know where to begin with this review.
Your mom has a therapist?
Yeah. Doesn't everybody?
This movie is just overwhelmingly
Sexist.
And we can use your wisdom.
and an inspiration.
And absurd.
I don't know like what side you were on, like if you were a Grace stan or just like...
Nar.
What was the little brother's name? Like Lowell or something.
No, it was the annoying like Louie or like Gooey.
They're stinky and squishy and
Tasty.
We'll just say gooey. It was Grace to be gooey the entire movie.
Sometimes I wish you weren't even my brother.
Okay, this movie is messed up.
Yeah.
So it's about this girl
A Christian gal in a Christian home.
who lives on a farm.
With very traditional parents. She's like 26.
And so they're like harvesting the soybeans. But she's like been having some tough luck with men recently. And the movie starts with her looking at like rings.
Because she thinks that her boyfriend of 15 months is about to pop the question.
Yeah, but guess what? He doesn't.
Basically, he takes her to a diner with a bunch of his college friends and like everybody's just like randomly burping.
This one right here. Top that.
And then he proposes to another girl.
Wait, he proposed? I missed that.
And so it literally never explains, like, did he cheat on her? Were they not really in a relationship and she just
Was it
stopped being
delusion?
there? So it starts with her being very frustrated that her boyfriend of 15 months proposed to
Another woman at a diner surrounded by burping
amidst
friends.
a chorus of burps. Like 7 minutes into the movie, you already know you're in for like...
We're off to a strong start.
Yeah.
The 26-year-old main character has a random rivalry with like her 9-year-old brother.
Yeah.
Which I think we're supposed to think is like quirky and cute. But it's
the
just...
sort of rivalry that'd be cute if like he was 10 and she was 13.
Yeah.
But she's literally like 27, he's 10.
Yeah.
It's like the scenes where she's like, I'm gonna kill you, and she's like chasing him and like trying to beat
chasing
him
him
up.
to his death because he gets hit by a car.
We're like, that's not quirky, that's just like domestic violence.
Drew, this way, can I get my hands on you?
So after this, horrible incident at the diner, she meets this other guy at a coffee shop.
A barista named Jared.
Who she's like really rude to, but I guess he's into that.
I just need a coffee.
It's like the Miley Cyrus in the last song effect. If you're just like absolutely feral and snarl at guys, like one of them might
Latch on
to
you
you.
like crazy.
But Jared was no Liam Hemsworth.
He was close though.
Well,
with his Bieber haircut, the Bieber swoop.
Jared, as they started dating, Jared wanted something very, very bad from Grace. He wanted...
Kisses.
I don't even know if I can get it out. He wanted to hug and kiss his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And we all know that's wrong.
Immediately we know he's the villain.
Yeah.
He is evil. There's a special place in hell for him.
And there's like multiple scenes where he like tries to kiss her and she like turns her head away. Or one time she even goes, not until you put a ring on it. Princess cut.
Princess cut.
So Grace has her priorities in order for sure.
Well, they're in A order.
Like one time he like lures her into his apartment, I guess, and they don't show the scene because it would be too graphic.
It'd be too graphic.
But he like starts making out with her, but she's like not into it. And then
she thinks
leaves.
it's like pushing the boundaries of purity or whatever.
Yeah. And then she like goes to her parents and like apologizes to her parents.
And she's like full on weeping
that
to her
this
mom.
happened.
She's like, could you ever forgive me? I was like, you're literally 30, like you should have your own health insurance. So why are you like apologizing to your parents that you kissed a guy? So then she like ghosts Jared, doesn't answer his calls.
Which is like really inconsiderate.
Which is actually really rude. And then when he like confronts her about it, she's like, I want my life to go in a different direction.
And she's like holding a bunch of books.
Like literally like 9 books about marriage.
And there's like this montage where she's like
Laying on her bed
studying,
reading.
like learning how to like wait for love. Cause you need
She's, like, waiting for a
9
man to
books
pursue
to do
her.
that. And then there's like a scene where she falls asleep on the books. So obviously like that knowledge is in there.
Yeah.
And then her mom is like, we are so proud of you.
Well, when she confessed to her dad that she, had a heathenly smooch with this pagan guy, he was like, someday if you're faithful and patient, a man of God will come and take you. But it's my job to protect you and watch over you till that happens. She's literally like her parents' little pet, even though she's like 27. It's so weird.
No, she's their princess.
And the weird thing is they're trying to like pitch it as it's like, this is like
The ideal family dynamic.
Yeah. Is like you being 27, living at home. You have to ask your parents for permission to do literally anything. If you do literally anything, you have to go to them with a formal apology and like ask for their like spiritual counsel.
Also, the mom randomly has like an Albanian accent sometimes.
So anyways, after she breaks up with Jared,
There's like this hot doctor that comes around.
his name is Clint. We thought his name was Sean throughout the whole movie. It was Clint.
Also, there's this whole other thing because like someone wants to buy the farm.
You have like the whole trope of somebody wanting to buy the farm and they can't harvest their soybeans, so like they
So
might
this
have
man approaches the dad, and
This contractor.
there's like an odd sense of like chemistry
There's
between
like
them.
weird sexual tension
Like,
between the
we
dad and the
know-
contractor.
We know there's a temptation there, absolutely.
Excuse me. I've got work to do.
So this like doctor comes around, and he's like 2 interactions with Grace, but she's like,
I was gonna say, one is like playing a board game with her family, and the other one is like she gets mad at her little brother because he spilled water on her college presentation. First of all, her college presentation was like a poster board with like 4 photos taped to it. I was like, if you're like 27, you like better be getting your master's, so why is your presentation for your master's class a poster board with 6 photos? But
That's a great
anyway,
question.
she gets mad at her brother, like chases him on a bike. Like she literally climbs atop a bike and starts pedaling after her younger brother, and then she like chases him into the street and he gets hit by a car. That's like one of the doctor's main interactions with him.
immediately, of course, he's smitten.
First of all, before he even talks to her, makes himself known, expresses his feelings, he goes to his parents and asks for permission.
Like before they even have like a real conversation.
Yeah,
like a real
Like
introduction.
before he like fully introduces himself to her, he's like asking if he can like buy cattle or something. Basically, in response, the dad goes on like this really long-winded rant where it looked like he forgot his lines. He's like, "Thank you for doing this in such a manner. You are obviously a man of God."
But like he's about to cry the entire time.
He's about to
So-
cry, and the guy that plays the doctor looks really confused, which is why it makes me think that like the dad literally forgot his lines, just kind of ranted for a while, and they were like, you know what, this is generally what we wanted to get across, let's keep it.
So he like meets her on a dock, and he's like, Grace, I like you. You're special.
Rude, it's wait till I get my hands on you.
And so he like gives her flowers. He's like, I want to date you. She's like, you know I can't without my papa's permission. And he's like, I already got it. She's like, you did?
Wait, what?
And just the fact that like he starts his whole pitch, he's like, I've been amazed witnessing you, and I know you are a woman of character and conviction. I was like, literally the last time you saw her, she was riding a bike, chasing her 10-year-old brother in front of an oncoming truck, and you were like touched by that. An interesting factor, he doesn't even say like, will you go out with me? Do you want to go get dinner? He says, would you be interested in pursuing a deeper friendship with me, where we potentially, prayerfully, consider the option of marriage? And I was like, literally, if a guy said that to me, like by the time he got to all that, I would literally forget if he was asking me. They don't even start dating, they start courting.
They like cook together or something, and he like holds a flower in his mouth and like does a little jiggle.
Yeah, which is not very masculine.
Yeah, which is like against the masculine.
Bring back
way.
manly men 2022.
So they're like, oh, everything's great. Like, how can we add more conflict? Well, the ex of this doctor
Clint's ex, Brooke.
arrives in town, and she's like sneering the entire time. And so she ends up somehow staying with the family on the farm.
Also, Brooke is able to find Clint because she literally calls the school where he graduated from and like asks for like his home address, and they're like, yeah, sure. And they like give her his home address.
She's resourceful, you know, I'm honestly kind of a fan.
His dad's like, now, tell me about Brooke.
Now tell me about Brooke.
Brooke is around for way too long. Like, he doesn't just like go have a conversation with Brooke. He's like, hey, you need to leave. I'm not interested in you. He like lets her linger there for way too long.
It's like very
Not
unclear how long she's there, but it's obviously a long time because it's like throughout the
harvest.
soybean harvest.
Yeah, and then like they're like, at the end of harvest, we're gonna have a big harvest festival. And she's like, what's a harvest festival?
What a strange idea.
The film climaxes when there is
The
a
Harvest
festival
Festival.
held at the family's house.
To
There's
bear
apple
arms.
ciders, there's like fiddle music,
There are foldable chairs.
people are wearing flannels.
Everyone's sitting in the foldable chairs. Jared from the coffee shop
Shows up.
and he like starts hitting on Brooke. They're like really into each other all of a sudden.
He literally like materializes beside her in a punch bowl, gets like a centimeter away from her face and goes, who do we have here?
They hit it off honestly. Instead of like pounding one out and like walking away and being happy, they're like, we have
Yeah.
to sabotage our ex-lovers.
Yeah.
So they go for the sabotage. Brooke like lures Grace into this like old
Dark
shed.
shed.
It's like Jared there like looming in the dark.
He's like, how's that other direction going for you? And he tries to like forcibly gift her a necklace. Things spiral really quickly. He like grabs her. Clint rushes in. There's like a fight. People fight with shovels, then people fight physically. Her brother hits him with a slingshot.
He's like, nice!
Jared and Brooke in the end do leave the farm.
Yeah.
Doesn't pan out? You'll be coming back.
Honestly, like, Jared and Brooke are icons.
They were the MVPs. Like, I say we dress up as Jared and Brooke for Halloween.
Ew, you can straighten your hair.
Or maybe I'll be Brooke. And you
I'll
be
go
Jared.
bleach blonde. No, I want to be Brooke.
And I want to be Brooke.
But basically, after all that, after the drama and the trauma,
Clint disappears for a few days. I do apologize if the setup has caused any confusion.
so basically, Clint disappears for a few days. Grace is upset because she thinks that like all the drama with Brooke and Jared just like ended things. Like she doesn't think he can get over it. But then,
He digs up a ring from the ground.
a ring he was gonna give to Brooke. So I think it's a little weird that he just like re-gifted that.
He like coerced this whole thing with her parents, and they're like going
Coerced.
Up. They've known each other for 3 months.
Yeah,
and
he's
they,
like-
they haven't really known each other. They've like
They haven't gotten to know each other
played
one-on-one.
board games and like cooked like with the family, and then like laughed a bunch. So they've done that for 3 months.
Yeah.
And then he goes and he like takes her away from her family on this like mountain ledge, and then he like pushes her off. Kidding. I wish that was the ending. That would be really
If
cool.
only it would be a really juicy ending.
No, then he proposes, and then she's like, yes. And then they go back and they have dinner with the family.
So he leaves.
Her future.
Overall thoughts on this movie?
Yeah, it definitely was an eclectic combination of scenes that formed a 1.5 hour
Thing.
thing.
It definitely exists. It's on YouTube for free. If any of you
Please watch it.
Please watch it.
Please give it the time of day because it needs it. It needs to
Yeah.
be talked about amongst our communities.
For all those women out there who are like legally of age, please don't make men like ask your parents permission for you to do literally anything, because that's really sad and dehumanizing. Right here in the video, we'll input like a mini montage of like
I think you're gonna say right here we will like insert links to like for resources for like how to get out of
resources for women that feel trapped in toxic relationships.
in like farm households specifically.
Well, it's the thing, like, even, like, friends in my family, like, have this same ideal, the dynamic of this family. It's like, if you're a woman, it's like you basically live with your family. Like, it's like you belong to your father/parents until, like, another man comes to take you away and marry you.
What year is this?
2022.
Oh.
We literally have, like, virtual reality. So, tell us what you think.
How about like the best and worst scenes?
I liked the scene after she, like, kisses Jared and she's, like, running to her mother. She's, like, becoming absolutely unhinged and she's, like, weeping into her mother's bosom.
I definitely like the shovel fight scene.
The shovel fight scene is a good one.
Like that's just the peak of everything. Everything's coming together for this movie. It finally just clicks and you're just like,
Yeah. And see, that was our issue. Jared was like a perfectly nice, kind guy until he like wanted physical affection from his girlfriend, and the movie like made him an unhinged villain.
he showed no signs of it before, like in his personality being like toxic or like super like needy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like douchey guys like that just move on to the next girl.
Yeah.
I don't really think they stick around.
Especially not like the type of girl who wear like floor-length skirts and infinity scarves.
Exactly. I know my worst scene.
Okay, you go. I'm trying
When
to
she's reading the books and she turns off the lights for no reason.
for just like
There's like
wiggling
10 seconds
around.
of her turning off lamps in her room.
My worst scene is probably just basically like anytime the parents like talked about her like she was like a piece of furniture or land that they were like considering auctioning off to the highest bidder.
The decision she did make for herself, the movie made it very clear like that
Those
was
were
wrong.
bad decisions.
That like led to her being
Every
physical.
single decision she made of her own volition was like villainized.
Yeah.
My favorite scene might be when she like chases her little brother into the middle of the road in front of the truck on a bike because he ruined her project.
What?
Maybe that's literally what I need to try.
Chasing your brother down
To
the
attract
street.
mates. I just start like chasing my siblings down the street, hoping somebody will hit them with a car and that some hot guy will like see that and like want me because of it.
Well, anyways, thank you so much for
Thank you guys for watching.
watching the video. This was a hoot and a
You
half.
should genuinely go watch this movie. Like I won't say you won't regret it, because like it is an hour and a half you'll never get back.
But it will change you.
Like and subscribe.
Comment down
And
below your favorite scene from the Princess Cut.
Comment down below your favorite scene from Princess Cut. Remember, summer of monetization.
Yeah, if we don't get monetized by the
My
end of
Hulu
August,
still has ads.
you know, that's a great point that you bring up. I was trying to watch something the other day and there was 4 ads. 4. Was that necessary?
No.
Anyways, okay, bye.
Bye.
End of August.
Hugs and kisses.
Or else I'm coming for you.